Good evening. Can you guys hear me at the back? So, I know there's great excitement to actually see the draw. The draw has been done a couple of weeks ago and has been audited by KPMG. Gave it a little Steinhoff once-over, so it should be fine. We'll be publishing the draw at the break of this proceedings. So just bear with us. We'll announce when the draw goes live. So, to be quite honest, I'm actually a bit embarrassed to stand here in front of you tonight. For those, some of you won't agree with me, but I'm actually a bowler, and I get some laughs here from the side. But tonight I'm standing with a mic in my hand, which some believe I'm better at. But there's an old saying that goes that those who can play, like most of you sitting here, those that can't get into organisation and administration, like myself, Brazler, and Lombard. I'll take you back 4 years when the first PBA flyer was launched. There was some skepticism. Some guys were excited. Some people had their eyes wide open to see what the new era of the PBA can do for lawn bowls in South Africa. We've had some great memories throughout the years. We had the plumber that won the first edition. We had the first edition's commentator winning the second edition, Jerry Baker, and then Wayne again. We've seen some epic matchups, some fantastic battles, made some great friends, and that forms the basis of the PBA. To all our viewers at home, our players, our volunteers, officials, markers, our special guests, Jason and Grant, our marquee player, Aaron, our caps and player or shot of the day sponsor, Jerry from Aero Bowls, and a big welcome, Lombard Barnard from Fairtree and his team. We'd like to wish everyone welcome. So the PBA has evolved so much that it's just not about the player anymore. They don't just cater for the player, but they cater for the person as well. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Vivian Jonk from the PBA Foundation Academy.
Thank you. I needed these cards tonight because they only gave me 5 minutes, so I'm going to keep it short if I'm going to stick to these cards. So welcome and a good evening to everyone. Yeah, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk and just share something that's very close to our hearts. On the 1st of February this year, something special had begun. Not just the program, but the vision that was so dear to Lombard's heart, and that we could be part of that vision. A vision not just to see young people from challenging circumstances participate in lawn bowls, but to see them excel, to see them rise, to see them become everything they are capable of, not only as athletes, but as people. And has taken its first steps. So we are currently men in the foundation. And their names are A.D. Iso from Robertson, Luciano Foster from Caledon, and the two guys are there at the back. Then Tandu Prayer Mariji. I just love the second name. From Belleville, and Armand, you guys here tonight. With my beautiful wife, Rosemary, we have the principles of this foundation. Our role is simple, but it's powerful. We walk a road with these young men, and they've just joined a program, but they became part of our home, and they became part of our family. And because of the PBA Foundation, we don't only focus on performance, but we build around 5 key values. And the most important of those values is family. We believe that when a young person feels seen or supported or valued, that is where real growth begins. Now, of course, we're also serious about the excellence of bowls. And these players, what they receive is professional coaching under Anneke Skeepers. I believe she's here tonight. Hi, Anneke. And Anneke, I just want to tell you that it's really a privilege for me to work with you and just to see you, not just coaching them, but investing in them. And just in 1 month to see the impact that it had upon them, not just as young guys, but to see already how they are excited about where this journey is going to take them. So thank you so much for your input, and we value you. They also receive support from sports psychologists, equipment and gear, academic and study support, and also opportunity to compete with the means to actually get to those events. We are removing barriers so that potential have the real chance to grow. But something beautiful has also started happening beyond the green. We are based in a beautiful town of Wellington. And the Wellington Bowling Club opened up their hearts and their arms to these young men. And out of this relationship, another dream started taking place. And that's the idea of the future Greenkeeping Academy. And it's something that I think Lombard thought is going to happen in a few years, but it already started happening. Today, these 2 players are already involved in a greenkeeping 3 days a week in Wellington. And then something else happened, that Durbanville Bowling Club also had a need, and we were able to step in and help there as well. And I want to thank you and honor Durbanville Bowling Club just for, again, allowing us to be part of you and using these beautiful greens as well for the young guys when they get their coaching. Thank you so much. So what we are seeing is this, not just athletes being developed, but young men gaining skills and responsibility and purpose. And that is what it's really about. Because for us, this is bigger than just lone bowls. This is about personal development, character formation, responsibility, discipline, and the ultimate seeing each one of them reach their full potential in life. Not just as players, but as men and women of excellence and integrity. Our dream is not only to produce great bowlers, but to raise leaders, role models, and people who will impact others. And we believe that this is just the beginning. And we want to thank you for being part of this journey with us. And I want to end by just honoring Lombard Barnard. I know he doesn't like when all the attention is upon him, but thank you for dreaming bigger. And thank you for dreaming that we can also play a part in this beautiful journey with these young people. And thank you for tonight.
Thank you very much, Vivian, and congratulations for what you guys do. Well done. It's inspirational stuff. Up next, a new initiative, the PBA Wine Society Marie Bester.
Good evening, everybody. I also have a few notes because English doesn't come naturally to me. My name is Marie vir die Afrikaanse mense. And I am so excited to officially launch the PBA Wine Society this evening that goes hand in hand with the PBA Foundation. I think this might be one of the very first sporting events where the wine is going to be just as exciting as the competition. And like Vivian just, yes, yay! Like Vivian just explained, the heart behind the foundation is really about just developing young athletes and creating opportunities through the sport that we all love, and that has brought us here this evening. And the PBA Wine Society is a small but a very meaningful way in which you can contribute to help us support the vision that we have. The PBA Wine Society is about bringing people together around the two things that South Africa does extremely well: great bowls and great wine. I'm sorry to the international visitors, you can only experience this for a few days. And we are working with some incredible local wine farms of the Durbanville Wine Valley to bring you a curated selection of wines that will be available to you throughout the year on a subscription-based and delivery system that you can order on the PBA Bowlsmaster app. For those of you who didn't know, the Fairtree Bowlsmaster app is now the PBA Bowlsmaster app. And on there you will find the Wine Society. If you are still uncertain about how everything works, you can follow our very simple sign-up process and we'll do the rest for you. Our idea and our concept is simple: build bowls by buying wine. So please support us in doing that. And that's really what it is about. Every bottle that you buy, every case that you buy will go towards supporting something so much bigger, and creating opportunities for young athletes to grow, to develop, and to pursue excellence in the sport. Tonight is also a small taste of what the Wine Society is all about. We've got wine-infused cocktails over there that you can please enjoy. If you have a headache tomorrow, we don't take complaints, unfortunately. So we want to encourage you to be part of this journey with us. The Wine Society is about more than just wine. It's about the community, and it's about people who love bowls, who enjoy great wine, and who want to be part of something that will help grow the sport and invest in the next generation. Just so you guys all know, right at the back behind Green A, we have a lovely food and wine tent where we will be having complimentary wine tastings from Friday. There's also live music and food trucks and a lot happening there. And tomorrow we'll also be serving wine slushies, so don't miss out on that. And yeah, so if you are a wine lover, and I know you guys all enjoy and love bowls, then the Wine Society is really for you. So please help us, support us. You can sign up on the Bowlsmaster app, or just come chat to us if you want to sign up. Thank you, enjoy the tournament, and enjoy the wine.
Thank you, Marie. I think that was a very exciting announcement. Some of you enjoy the wine more than you do the bowls. Yes, there's a yeah, Tony. Further ado, I'd like to welcome up the next person to have a few words. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for your friend of mine.
Oh, no. I think between Vivian and Marie, they've said plenty of what the heart behind stuff is. I must have to get it closer. Sorry, man. I'm not going to tell you about Fairtree. Please go on the app. We're into investments. We think we're good at it. And go and have a look at it. So I'm not going to talk on us. This is all about bowls. I think it's so wonderful to see everybody. I'm not going to thank anybody specific, because that's, you know, all of you feel more than friends. So from my side, I just wanted for those who didn't follow the social media posts, so we're very excited when the World Bowl Series announced, and Jerry, thanks a lot from our side. I mean, it was a big emphasis and complimentary from his side when we said, listen, please, can we have a status for international players to come over here and play here in this specific event. As you guys know, at the Masters currently and at the South African Open, you get some silver event points for those players. Of course, they don't come specifically for that. And they just announced that, as some of you may know, that this event also carries silver status for the World Bowl Series. So, not that Omar really needs it, but listen, it counts towards something. So, but also for the rest. So the dream is, of course, to get more and more players over here. I think we started to get more and more players overseas, but we would love to rather get more of you guys over here. So that's part of the dream. We had an absolute fantastic time with Omar yesterday. I already learned so much. But, so I'm not going to tell you what it is until maybe tomorrow or so. So as you heard, the app has changed. Part of the announcement side is, it's not the Fairtree Bowls Master app anymore. It's the PBA Bowls Master app. So part of the dream, everybody's always asked, listen, but what do you guys get out of it? Of course, we're very happy for those who have supported us through investments. Please don't stop. Please come to us. But the main thing was always about community and taking bowls further. So the next step was to change it, that everything that we try to do is about the foundation now. It's about this event, taking it to the next level, and therefore also include anybody, even the so-called, although we don't see other people in competition with us, but anybody is welcome, and we want you guys to support the app through that. We'll get to that later. As you guys heard, the foundation started. That's sort of my new passion in life. So there's a nice few dreams coming. So the wine club, all this stuff that we just mentioned is just the start. And just for those of you who are here this year, I just can confirm that you want to be here next year. It's just part of the complaint of within the Barnard household. I think of something and poor Audrey and the guys needs to execute. But as you know, I think it's already the biggest tournament in South Africa in terms of prize money. This year it's already 430,000. So we already budgeted it. So next year it's going to be 750,000. But in saying that, we'll not leave, there's maybe a little bit side onto that. You may be going to play another day or two. So just keep it in mind. It's going to be a proper week of bowls, proper pairs. Well, not that this one isn't proper pairs, all pairs. The field will be bigger. So from my side, just on a very few levels, how can you support? Everybody always support the sponsor. Please give us your investment, but don't worry. The biggest happiness in my life for now is that I can tell you back. You know, you've heard it so often, or I've heard it often. Business people around here have heard it so many times. When you give something, they say, listen, but it's so good because you can have a tax deduction. So I'm throwing it back to you guys. If you are paying tax at this stage, the happiness is the foundation can give you a tax certificate. You can deduct it from tax. So all of you I'm throwing it back to you. Anybody can give $100 tax deduction, or 1,000 or 100,000. You come along. So if you hate the tax man, come to us. We can help you out with Article 18A certificates. I thought, and I left it fortunately to Maria and the guys, to think on the Bowl Society, because I said, listen, drink for the children, that didn't go well, but support the foundation in terms of the Wine Society, because she didn't mention percentages, but 5% of whatever you buy, and each dependent on the wine, it's all the Durbanville Wine Valley, it depends 10 to 15% discount on normal seller prices for you guys, but an extra 5% goes towards the foundation. So I actually want to thank the Durbanville Wine Valley. I know they actually involved a little bit at the club, but they came to the party, so it's fantastic. So in future, just because the app is now the PBA app, please, if you've got a business, we're going to launch soon, you can advertise towards your business. And once again, we're not here to make money, but poor Chris and the guys, and they really put it, we're going to keep 10% of it, but 90% of whatever you advertise on the app for your business will go towards the foundation. So if you give $100, 10 will at least go to these guys that's doing the work, not to Fairtree. So please, over time, just support that. So what I'm also asking, as the app is growing, it's not about the app. I spoke to Aaron, they've got something in Australia. So the dream is really, whether you want to see anything on bowls, whether it's Australia, whether it's South Africa, whether it's Limpopo, whether it's here, that there's a place that you can go and see it, see the results, see what's happening in bowls. But we need you guys to help us with Bowl South Africa, that they start posting the stuff on the app. Hopefully one of you is with me. If I have to go to Facebook again to try and get something that goes away, freaking please help me. So in future, and we'll post a few things, the last thing I want to say, with the foundation, we're starting here because we're here. Thanks to Jerry, we already, when we went to the Masters, the main object was to go and see there at Morningside whether we can hold something up there. So the foundation is going up there in future. We want to go to all the areas. This is just a start with this 4 boys. In essence, I've got a dream. The one part of the foundation is to say Project 32. Aaron mentioned it as well. In 2032, probably the Olympics is going to be in Australia. And the idea of the Project 32 is to have bowlers to all levels that can compete in the Olympics in 32. So at least 32 men, 32 ladies, really up and ready to represent South Africa, that Johan du Plessis that's sitting here want to pick them to be part of his squads. So it's an extension, hopefully, to what they are doing to make their job easier. But we're going to work on all levels, like Vivian said. It's more about the person itself and then bowls. But we do believe that's the hand-in-hand thing that will happen. I want to congratulate all of you that's making it. These days, it's not easy to be here. The 64 of you playing. It's the best field ever, and I know that's what you're waiting for. For my pleasure, I know where you're playing, so I'm as excited as you to see the look on your faces, to see where you're playing. The negative is there's no pool of death kind of thing. Everyone is. So all the 16 sections, good luck. So I'm over to Mornay. Thanks a lot. We'll speak again, and come and say hi and see what you can add to the foundation. I would love it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lombard. I wasn't going to run through the conditions of play. You all have received it. And if you have any questions, you can ask Sean Thomas, Mr. Bowles. He'll help you out. What I want to touch on, though, is the pairs competition. I'm not sure all is aware how that will work. So all the singles section winners will go through and continue playing in the singles knockout, whereafter everyone else will go and play in the pairs competition. Now, how the teams will be drawn, it's not a true draw, so it will go according to your PBA rank. So the top 2 ranked players will play together. The next two ranked players will play together, and so on. So we don't know who that will be yet because we'll have to wait for the singles to finish. But that's how the pairs will work. Any other questions around the pairs? You can ask Brazla, because I don't think Sean knows that. We're going to take a quick break. So help yourself to some snacks and some wine cocktails. And if you go into the PBA Bowlsmaster app now, the draw is live. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. Enjoy, and we'll call you back when you're ready.
Test.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. I'd like to welcome to the stage Jerry Baker. Thank you very much for joining, Jerry.
Cheers.
Like to start us off? You said you had a...
All right, so guys, just a quick, before I get into, so Monet's asked me to do a couple of comments on the sections, but before I get into that, I just want to, not hijack anything, but just want to say to Aaron, so when Lombard moved to this idea 6 months ago, I think it was, can we get someone like decent? I said, well, let's get the best in the world. Let's aim there and take it from there. So picked up the phone, phoned Aaron, sent him a message, came back within 5 minutes and said, if the dates are okay, I'm in. And so for us to have him here today, I don't think we know he's good and all the rest of it, but I don't think we really appreciate the company in. And Aaron, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a fantastic time with us. But the mandate, so what happens, as you know, with the South African people that go to Australia, they go over, have a day's practice, get on the carpet or get on those fast screens and get the smack of their lives, and we lick our wounds and we come back and we discussed how we're going to do this to Aaron. So we thought, well, these greens are probably half in his favor. If the wind gets up, it's not a problem for him because Broadbeach is windy and whatever. The only thing we're going to do is get him smashed. And apparently the last 24 hours has had a fair go at that. And all I'm saying to this field out here, let's make sure that he's got no chance of winning this thing. So... and let me tell you, he's on the brandy, which is a bad start for starters. But Aaron, welcome to Cape Town, welcome to South Africa.
So what Aaron doesn't know is we've got Durbanville's secret weapon lurking behind him there, Jason Butler. So inching closer. Jerry, before I get going, I just want to mention something about the shirt. So guys, all the players, make sure you know what shirt you have to wear tomorrow in which round. So bring both, but make sure you look at the drawer so you know which one to wear. If you don't have your shirt here, you'll have to buy a new one, and that goes to the PBA Foundation. Jerry, the draw. Anything noteworthy you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I love about bowls, there's 64 of us here. I think it's 64.
64.
So there's only 6 that can win. So the other 58. So when I saw the draw, and Monet showed me the draw 2 days ago,
Sorry, Brace.
in order to prepare for this thing tonight, I sent a message to a couple of my mates around the country saying, don't waste your cash. make an excuse to pull out because you. But everyone thinks they can win, right? So, but in reality, only 6 can win, and that's what bowls is about. The other guys have come here thinking they can win, so it's a strong field. So that's the bullshit. That's the nonsense. That's a hell of a strong field. I can tell you what's going to be very strong is the pairs field, because a lot of good guys aren't going to make it. So I think that the sections are. I'm not going to comment on every section, but I'd like to. You talk about sections of death, which they say there aren't. They're all strong. I'm going to highlight Otto's section. Otto, Mo, Tinus, and Michael Mashabella. So, I mean, those, like any one of the 4. Michael's on top of his game. He's got 4 bowls, so he'll get 1 close. But that for me is a tough section to call. I think with, then as opposed to a section where, like Jason's in, I mean, he's in the back end of his career, so they're trying to preserve his career, so they've given him a relatively easier draw.
Yeah, you can see his draw. It gets harder as it goes because he's got Calvin up first.
Well, he's got Calvin up first. If he gets through that, well, good luck to him. You got Johnny D'Souza, Stoffel. I hope that's not the afternoon or the late game because there's no lights here. Are there lights here for Stoffel? I'm not quite sure. So, but I hope that's the morning game. But and Wayne Rittmiller and Hazel in that section. So look here, they're super competitive. I mean, I think Zakes with Aaron. I think Zakes, you're a great sort of advert for this game. You're a great advert for South Africa. I mean, that draw was done by design. So show your best, and let me tell you, if you beat him, well, let me tell you, we're all on your side. Eh? So that'll be great, but that'll be tough. So I really think this is a hell of a strong field, the strongest the PBA has ever had. It's a tribute to what happens down here, and we're all going to have a bit of fun. I think the wind gets up, and who knows? So, and in the format of sets, as we all know, it's really anyone's game. So good luck to all.
Just a quick mention, and a question I want to pose to you is that everyone, or not everyone, most players here did play in the inter-districts last week and should be fairly prepared if they had a good week, or they've put a hell of an amount of bowls down over the last, call it 10 days. Bar the plumber, because the plumber, Wayne Roberts, apparently can only play with forwards. So he might.
Yeah, Plummer's got no chance. He's got no. If I was a bookmaker, I'd lay him. I'd go to these bookmakers here at the racecourse and lay him till the cows come home. So, but he's got one D section like Wayne Perry. I mean, Wayne Perry's just made the green. Sort of in my day, the green squad was the up-and-coming squad. So Wayne, at the bright young age of 50 or 48, whatever he is, he's just made the green squad. I think if they had Colts and Philly squads, I probably. I mean, they just so Wayne. I think. Look, if you look at Wayne, and if you look at Wayne, 3 Waynes. I mean, they're super great bowlers. Eh? I mean, they all content. Faddy there, Faddy with Roger Bull, Matthews Perry, and Petula. I mean, that's huge. That's a big section. So they're all big sections. I think by the time the last man standing here Saturday afternoon is going to be a true champion.
One thing that's caught my eye is section 11. And I'm looking forward to the matchup where the young bull, and with all due respect, takes on the old bull. Armand versus you.
Well, look here, let me tell you. So we had 7 ends against Amantia on Sunday. And I can't wait for that game. Look here, it's also, I mean, I don't know if shot aggregate comes into it, but I'll be trying to get my shots in that game. So anyway, so if you beat me, please don't remind me about this conversation. So
sounds like the story that Berkey always tells when you started playing in the SA Masters. They looked where your name was in the draw because they love to use you for shot aggregate. Is that the case here?
They did do that, absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We're going to call up Aaron Sheriff and Jason Parkinson for a quick discussion. While we wait for them, each player in the PBA has a tab open at the bar. Now, it's not an open bar tab. Just speak to the barman with regards to what your tab number is, and the expectation is that it gets paid by Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. Debbie, Sunday morning? Eddie? Saturday afternoon, apparently. So just figure out what your tab number is there, and they've tried to make it easier for the players. Jason, Aaron? Typical Richard Craddock. Choose your ear off. You guys pick where you want to sit. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I want to just start off a question for you, Jason. You were here in the first edition. You had a visit a year and a half ago, am I correct? And how's things changed, and the outlook from the PBA internationally, or where you sit, how do you see South Africa? How has it grown, and the value it's added to actually to the PBA internationally?
Yeah, it's a really good question, to be honest. So if we go back probably 5 years, part of the World Bowls Tour is we try to get as many countries involved. And 5 years ago, when I got involved, there were certain countries that were clearly struggling. And at the time, South Africa was struggling, Israel, America was struggling, Canada, Hong Kong at the time. And we had to think differently. We had to break the mold and change things. So it was probably during COVID, we had a couple of Zoom calls, and I just said to, there was Johan and a couple of other members at the time, how did they change the way that South Africa does things? And that comes through a different vision, it comes through inclusivity, and it also comes through sponsorship, investment, people getting on board. And when I came the first time, the transformation was unbelievable. And that was due to hard work. At the time, there was Johan, Andre in my head. And when I walked through the door...
For bowls, not only in South Africa, but not just bowls as a sport, but the individual. Where do you envision this going? What has it done, and where do you think this could possibly go?
So what really excites me about the PBA is that it's so much more than the PBA, this tournament. This, you know, when we were playing the PBA 10 years ago, it was about getting on a plane and going to Potters. It's much more than that today. And this event, you know, Fairtree's on board, but the passion of Lombard and Audrey and the guys behind it, that's what drives it. The cash is one thing. So we got the passion. Absolutely, they got a checkbook, but I think this is huge for South Africa. It's huge for bowls. I think that, you know, the thing that they've attached in terms of the academy, you know, we still got to admit that 95% of the population doesn't play bowls, and that is the challenge we've got in South Africa. So the quicker that this transforms into a black sport, and let's tell it like it is, a black sport, the better for bowls. The sponsors come with that, the people come with that, the numbers come with that. It's not a white-only sport, as a lot of the clubs and as a lot as the provinces might think. That's not. Else we're going to stay at 20,000 bowlers, we're going to stay with no sponsors, we're going to stay like this forever. So the quicker the penny drops with Bowls South Africa and those type of people that can make those changes, the better. And Lombard's obviously thought, well, I'm not going to do the Bold South Africa, I'm going to do it myself, and hence the academy. And this academy has got the potential to do a lot more. So I think what we've seen now, we've seen a hell of a big change from 18 months ago, as you said, and I think and
prepare for this tournament, because it must have been hard coming to environments that's unknown, hardly knowing anyone that's in the field. Your experience firstly, and then give us some insight in your preparation.
Yeah, so I guess, look, first of all, thank you to Jerry. We talked a few months back about the potential for me to come over here. I've never been to South Africa before, but it's always been a bucket list thing for me. Like, I think South Africa is quite a lot like Australia. Beautiful country, you know, beautiful wildlife, coastlines, love a drink, love a good time. I've learned that a barbecue is a braai. And I love the braai, trust me, I do. Hello. But anyway, I got this opportunity to come out here, and I've seen some familiar faces and met a lot of new faces, and I'm sure that'll occur over the weekend. But I guess just hearing about the passion that Lombard and Audrey and all the guys part of this PBA have, it was a no-brainer for me. Like, I wanted to be able to come to this country. This was the perfect opportunity to come to the country. And then the last 3 days have just been absolutely incredible. Like, I've never experienced, I told the guys, what I experienced yesterday, I've never ever had that sort of experience in 17 years of international travel playing for Australia. So yeah, that's like legit lifetime memories. So yeah, so I mean, I've got more out of the last 2 or 3 days being here than I've probably ever got travelling internationally for Australia for 20 years. So so like I'm over the moon. I'm super excited to get out there on the greens. I said to the guys this morning, I can't wait, even though I've had such a great time, I can't wait to get on the greens and sort of experience these greens, because it's something I've never played on before. So as far as the greens and the competition side of thing, yeah, look, I know I've got a target on my back, but that's cool. Like, bring that on. Like, I've worked 30 years to get to this point, and the whole point of working for 30 years is to have that target, and I take that as a privilege and an honour, and yeah, and it makes that 30 years worthwhile. So to come over to South Africa to experience what you guys have, to fall in love with the country in 3 days, and then to have that big ass target on my back. Bring it on, and thank you.
So, fantastic speech there from Aaron, but there's one thing he's not mentioned yet. There's one thing, and for those that know me, I like a little bit of a joke, and I like to be a bit out there. So, Aaron's told me the best joke today I've heard in a long while. So he's been in South Africa, first time for a few days, and he's appointed, or forced, he's appointed himself a new coach. The best joke ever. His official coach, Richard Craddock. I've already had Walter Jacobs from Australia. He's absolutely fuming.
So we'll get a little bit more context in there. So we've been in the car for about 10 hours in the last 24 hours, so we're a bit delirious. However, Richard, I spent the first night in South Africa at his house. He cooked me my first braai that I've ever had. We've connected. He's a rat bag, and I love him for that. And we got halfway home, and we were talking about just random stuff, as you do in a car with 5 men. And it came up that he was going to be my coach this weekend. The only thing was, he got a little ahead of himself. He wanted to work out how much international travel we're going to have for the rest of the year, what his retainer was going to be, what percentage of prize money he was going to earn. I was like, woo, 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 you're on probation this weekend. Right, let's see how that goes first, and then we can talk the numbers. Yeah. On you, Rich.
So to me, it sounds that Richie is just more of a caddy than a coach. They need to carry the bag and get the water.
We also came with a catchphrase: hydration, not frustration. Isn't that right?
Just a bowls-related question, and maybe the three of you can answer me individually. Set play. We don't have a lot of set play in South Africa. Does it change your strategy or approach to? Does it differ from a 21-end game? Is there the benefit for the more attacking player knowing that I can play with a bit more freedom? If I drop a 3, I've got 8 ends to catch up or 5 ends to catch up, and I'm not chasing to 21. Is there a strategy change to playing sets versus first to 21 or 21 up?
Yeah, it's quite frustrating, if I'd been truly honest. I mean, you could play a match and be 21-7 in front and lose the game. So as a traditionalist, that grinds my gears a little. However, it's just another challenge. The hardest part is, well, I guess my way of thinking of it is go out, win the first set. If you don't, you've got a second chance. If you win the first set, then you need to...
That's Richard. That's Richard telling you
Someone's
talking
dinner's
rubbish.
ready, or yeah. Look, I mean, like I say, as a traditionalist, it's not ideal. I would prefer to play out the 21 ends, the first 25, whatever the thing is. But I mean, sets play is designed for television. Let's be real. If you're playing a game of singles and it's 21-1. Channel gets changed, we lose viewers. If you lose the first set 15-0, you go back to 0-all again, people are still entertained. So that's the whole point of sets play. And I totally get it. For our sport to progress, for us to get bigger sponsors, more funding, all that sort of stuff, we've got to have a sport that is still entertaining for an hour and a half, not just fizzles out after half an hour. So it's for a traditionalist, it's not ideal, but for the growth of our sport, it's necessary.
I totally agree with that 100%. I always think there's definitely a place for traditional bowls, definitely. But the way my position in bowls, purposely through World Bowls Tour, we are all about corporate. It's all about corporate sponsorship and keeping that BBC contract. And BBC, any broadcaster, they want short, sharp. Now with bowls, I don't think there's anything more we can do as a WBT for the sport to make it any shorter. I think 9 end sets are probably short. I'd hate to see it go any shorter. The shot clock was brought in 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, for players like Ian McClure, who was a fantastic player, but
Stoffel?
Stoffel, or as I call Stoffel, the slug. But people just sometimes, that's just their natural game, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But for broadcast, they want short and sharp, and I think we've got it as short and sharp as we can. The trouble with our sport as a broadcast is the minute you let go of the bowl, players want a nice fast green. For broadcast, that's their worst nightmare, because if you're playing on a green for 21 seconds, the minute you let go of the bowl to the 3 or 4 seconds away, they call it dead air time. It's what you do to fill the air time. It's really, really difficult. But what Aaron said is correct. Over 21 up, 31 up, the most, I don't want to say better, but the most consistent player at that moment will always win. In sets play, doesn't always happen. But for broadcast, it makes it a little bit more interesting. And that's my opinion. There's needs for traditional, but for broadcast, we have to somehow create, I don't want to say a false atmosphere, but a bit of excitement. You get, in sets play, you could get 3, I hate to use the word climaxes, sorry ladies, 3 climaxes, sorry ladies, you're probably not used to it here. But in 21 up, if someone's winning 18-2, you just turn off, don't you? You just turn off. Oh, well, I know who's going to win. But in sets play, if someone's winning 9-0, you don't turn off because you think, well, hang on, there's another set here, and there might be a tie break. So it keeps you watching bowls, and that's what we need to get the sponsors. We need people tuning in, seeing something what they think is a bit more exciting than what I do, and thinking, I will try that sport. We had 24 million views during the last World Championships, 24 million. If 5% of those 24 million just try bowls, wherever they live in the whole world, if they just try the sport, then we've done the right job.
I think Aaron and you guys have said it all. So I'd just like to add one thing that you might find. So you take a guy like Calvin. Calvin, if I can just abuse you for a second, if you don't mind. You're not too good for television, and you're not that great in sets play either. So, but in that section, and look at Calvin's my stone cold China, so I can do this to him. But in that section, you're going to get that 3 on that 5th end. Wind's going to be pumping a bit, and the result's going to be unpredictable. So I'm generally a slow starter, but I'm actually a fan of sets play. I mean, 21 shots you're just jockeying for position. I think, the game comes alive. So I'm in for sets play generally, and I think we're going to have a.
Yeah, no, I think we're looking forward to the crazy results and some good times, because that's what makes tournaments like this interesting. I mean, we had a plumber win the first edition, a commentator win the second one, and then a plumber again. So that means everyone's sitting here.
Anyone got a trade? You're winning.
I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. We really appreciate it. To all the officials and the markers, thank you again. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.